Can you imagine an entire population surviving over 1,000 years without a country? And then during the Holocaust in Germany, 90% of them being wiped out in one of the largest genocides. This story is about an ethnic group whose lives were taken from them. In World War II, horrifying crimes were committed against them. Even though 90% of them were wiped out during the Holocaust, none of them were represented during the Nuremberg trials.
History has its way of silencing voices. In the shadow of the history's darkest chapters lies a story untold, a legacy hidden beneath layers of pain and resilience. Some stories demand to be heard. Years ago, during my visit to Dachau concentration camp, I stumbled upon a hidden part of my heritage. Among the solemn echoes, I discovered the untold story of the Roma people during World War II. Can you please talk about how many Romani people were killed in the Holocaust?
The senior historian at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum estimated 1.5 million. The International Organization for Migration estimated 1.5 million.
This is not just an album. It's about bringing to light a forgotten history through the power of our strings. This is a journey into the heart of the Roma people.
We're not just playing notes, we're narrating the journey of a people whose spirit and love for music endured through the darkest times.
My name is Ion Zanca, and I'm the principal and founder of the Dallas String Quartet. This is the story of my heritage. This album is my tribute to the Roma people, my people. It's a musical journey through their suffering, their strength, and their unyielding spirit. I want listeners to feel their story, to connect with their legacy. This album is my way of giving them a voice they deserve. This album is crucial. It's a step towards recognition, towards giving the Roma people the acknowledgement they've long been denied. This is more than music. This is history reborn through the power of strings and soul. Now is the time for the world to hear their story, to remember, to listen, to honor.
Chapter 1. Brewing Conflict. Imagine a small, tight-knit European town, traditional to the core, and a young Roma gypsy family trying to make a home on the outskirts.
The air is thick with nationalism, skepticism, and impending war. In the opening track, the strings tell the story of growing anxiety as the family senses the brewing conflict of World War II. It's a musical canvas painted with the fear, the unknown, and the tension of living on the fringes of a society suspicious of outsiders.
Romani people today are, in one sense, a composite people because our beginnings were in India, but our ancestors have been coming westwards for the past 1,000 years, and along the way have incorporated other peoples. That is most obvious when you look at our language, which has layers. I use the onion as a metaphor. The core of the onion is Indian, but the next layer, let's say, is Persian, then the next layer is Armenian, and the next layer is Greek, and so on and so on. We have a core identity that has been layered upon, because once crossing over from what is now Turkey into Europe around 800 years ago, our ancestors went off in different directions. So they were separated from each other by distance and time. So you find Romani populations all over Europe and the Americas who are different from each other because of what they've acquired independently, but all of which share a core language and culture.
Chapter 2, Letters of Pain. Dive into a raw and poignant chapter inspired by letters from Roma soldiers in the Romanian army during World War II.
Imagine the heart-wrenching pain of those who fought while their families were deported. These letters, uncovered from the Romanian archives, convey the depths of despair. The track intertwines the soulful melodies with the Romanian national anthem, creating a powerful juxtaposition that echoes the anguish and sacrifice of a community caught in the crossfire.
This is inspired from a recent found from the Romanian archives, where these young Romani scholars found letters of Romani soldiers during World War II addressed to the general in Romanian army asking for their family not to be deported. So having the chorus of the Romanian anthem juxtaposition with the music and the waltz of the Romani cry, I believe it created one magnificent piece.
Chapter 3. As the war rages on, the third chapter takes us on a journey of acceptance and surrender. It's a realization that destiny isn't in their hands, yet a sacred part remains untouched. The music transcends the physical world, offering a sense of peace amid pain. The orchestra accompanies the viola, embodying the resilience and spiritual strength that cannot be broken. It's a musical meditation on finding tranquility with turmoil.
Can you explain what the difference is between the term Roma and gypsy? Is one and the other the same?
When our ancestors first arrived in the West, the Europeans were not sure who we were. They thought that perhaps we were Turks because the Ottomans were moving into southeastern Europe. The Ottoman Empire was spreading. It had taken over the Christian Byzantine Empire, and they were responsible in large part for our presence in the West, either being brought in by them or being moved ahead of them. But either way, there was this connection between the Turks and us. But we were not white people, visibly different from Europeans, certainly in dress and language, physical appearance. People thought perhaps we were Egyptians. We were called Egyptians, Gypsians. That name has stuck. It's given different European languages that the Spanish word gitano really means Egyptian, gitano. But it's a mistake because A, they didn't know who we were, so they gave us a label. And B, we either did not want to tell the Europeans who we were, or, what I prefer to believe, we had lost the details of our own history.
Chapter 4.
Romani people are Europe's largest ethnic minority today. Everywhere the Romani people have lived, the local culture of that area has influenced their music. Flamenco music is Romani music from Spain. After World War II, the Romani people living in Spain couldn't really openly express their culture under the Catholic rule. And because of this suppression, their music is a little bit more intense and sad sounding sometimes.
Chapter 5. Ode to the Romani. Celebrating life's joy in the face of adversity, this piece is a vibrant chapter dedicated to the indomitable spirit of the Roma people. Drawing from the joyous traditions and love of music, this track exudes the ability to revel in even the smallest moments of happiness.
In a direct tribute to my father, the tunes of weddings he played throughout his life infused this chapter with a lively, heartfelt energy. This album is crucial. It's a step towards recognition, towards giving the Roma people the acknowledgement they've long been denied. This is more than music. This is history reborn through the power of strings and soul. Now is the time for the world to hear their story, to remember, to listen, to honor.